deli where good food is always on the menu. Check out Saxony Westwood, Butchery, Bakery and Deli, certified by the NIHT. Doors open on October 30th. See you there.
More than 800 million people around the world live in deep poverty, uncertain of where the next meal will come from. For those on the brink of starvation, a food pack means survival, dignity, and hope. Send food, send kindness. Be the reason a family does not go hungry. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Hungry for a deal that hits the spot? Get the Top Duo deal. 2 large margarita pizzas plus 1 topping each for $1.99. Or go big or go home with the Bellissima Duo deal. 2 large Bellissima pizzas for $2.69. Pure flavor perfection. And that's not all. The snack box combos are here. Your pizza boy's favorite pack to the ultimate munch box. Don't forget our daily lunch specials. Delicious, quick, and wallet friendly. Only at Pizza Boys. Taste that hits different. Pizza Boys. Bring your va-va boom to your slice of life. Find your nearest Pizza Boys near you. Pizza Boys. We don't cut corners.
You know what really gets under my skin? When my cake or icing just doesn't come out right. It's such a bummer. But I found this incredible margarine called Wooden Spoon, and it's been a total lifesaver for my baking adventures. It makes my icing turn out just perfect every time. When I whip up something with Wooden Spoon, I feel like a master baker. Seriously, my cakes have never looked better. The secret? Wooden Spoon margarine. It's like the magic ingredient for nailing those perfect bakes. And guess what? It's even endorsed by the South African Bakers Guild Association. Just another quality product from the Willowton Group.
Get ready for a day of fun, family, and unforgettable memories at the Waterfall Ranch Pop-Up Market. Escape the hustle and bustle and head to the scenic Waterfall Ranch Sunday, December 7th, just a short drive from Pietermaritzburg. Unwind under the trees, explore the stunning waterfall, and enjoy a day filled with pony rides, safe water fun for the kids, jumping castles, delicious food, shopping, and endless entertainment for the whole family. Entrance just 50 Rand per car. Don't miss out. Make memories that last. For more details, call 078-1044-260. See you at the Waterfall Ranch Pop-Up Market.
Think all labs cost the same? Surprise! FlowPath is up to 30% less on medical aid claims. No compromise on quality, just accredited, reliable results at a better price. Call for your quote today. FlowPath Laboratories.
The views and opinions expressed by the guests and presenters of Radio Al Ansar are not necessarily the views and opinions of Radio Al Ansar and the Al Ansar Foundation.
Doctors and guests on a Medical Files program will help you with any medical problems you have by giving you advice on air. However, they do not have your full medical history and they have not seen you. Please verify the advice given to you on air with your doctor who knows you better. Neither the doctors nor Radio Al Ansar will be held responsible for any ill health caused by the advice given on Radio Al Ansar.
What could you say?
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
There'll be a lack of space you never seen before. I'm trying to tell you what you already know. Have you ever been in bed and prayed to cry? When did you apologize or ask him to go? Now you're standing in his place, it's time to show all the deeds that you've done before has been wrong. Yeah, Rabbana في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا. What could I say? What could I go? But you're the most high, the king of the day. All the things that
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Peter Marisburg Pulse Show, where faith meets conversation. And I'm Shubnum Ismail on this Saturday, a Mubarak Saturday. The weather is great here in Peter Marisburg on Radio Al Ansar 90.4 Durban and 105.6 FM Peter Marisburg. And I'm excited to share inspiring stories, thought-provoking discussions, and Islamic insights with you. Chronic pain is a reality for millions of people worldwide, and it's not just about living with discomfort. It's about living with the condition that can affect every aspect of your life. Today, we are talking about a type of care that's specifically designed to help people manage chronic pain and improve their quality of life. Our expert guest is also going to shed light on palliative care, who can benefit and how it can make a difference. Whether you're a patient, a caregiver, or a family member, or just want to learn more, stay tuned for a conversation that's all about living a better life. Today, we're thrilled to welcome a truly remarkable physician whose journey reads like a novel of science, medicine, and relentless compassion. I'm very excited because I've shared quite a bit of space in the acute hospital working next to her a few years back. From the rolling hills of Pietermaritzburg, where she first opened her eyes, Dr. Samantha Green started an impressive academic path, earning her BSc in 1993, in 1994 her honors, and in 1997 an MSc at the University of Witwatersrand. Her MSc research into genetic polymorphisms in asthma not only earned a distinction but captured the coveted Genco Prize for the most outstanding MSc in the factuality of science. Wow. But Dr. Green wasn't done exploring. She pivoted from molecular biology to medicine, graduating with a medical degree from WITS in 2002, completing her internship at the Charlotte Maxwell Hospital and community service at St. Rita's Hospital in Glencoe, and a stint followed in private hospitals across the United Kingdom and South Africa, broadening her expertise. And then in 2011, she returned home and she earned a diploma in anesthetics and entered the anesthetic registrar program in Pietermaritzburg, only to be drawn into critical care when life circumstances shifted. And I saw firsthand how she was running around during COVID and putting things into place. And then in 2014, she was a medical officer in critical care at Gray's Hospital, becoming the first MO ever to serve in a consultant level capacity. She also secured part 1 of the SCP specialty along the way. And when COVID-19 struck in 2020, Dr. Green stepped back into the private sector, juggling theater and ICU duties in Pietermaritzburg, and today she is channeling her vast experience into a new frontier, building a palliative care and chronic pain service that promises comfort and dignity for patients in need. Please give a warm welcome, listeners, to Dr. Samantha Green. She is a scientist, an aesthetic doctor in critical care specialist as well, and now beacon of palliative compassion. Dr. Green, welcome to my Pulse Show.
Thanks for such a beautiful introduction and welcome, Shubnum.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here.
Great
Thank
to have you with us, and hope that our listeners are going to impart some great knowledge today. So tell us, doctor, what is the best part of your job? I know that you juggle so many aspects of medicine, and tell us what you enjoy the most.
I think it's mostly since moving to chronic pain, getting to spend time with patients, really listening to their stories, truly understanding the impact of what we do as doctors, the impact that we have on patients, helping them to find solutions to problems that they thought, might not be solvable. And that has been really rewarding.
Yes.
Establishing connections with patients and networking with the patients alone.
Yeah.
That's been amazing.
Establishing connections, very important. It's the patient's journey and seeing them through to recovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, doctor, can you tell our listeners what is the common causes of chronic pain and how it can be diagnosed?
Okay, so pain, according to the International Association for the Study of Pain, is an unpleasant sensory or emotional response to tissue damage or potential tissue damage. So you get acute pain, which there's some sort of insult and it should resolve. Chronic pain is that which persists beyond what you think is the normal recovery time. So it can last for months, from 3 months to years. And pain is supposed to be a functional thing to protect you and to allow your body to heal. Chronic pain becomes dysfunctional. So from that, you see there's potentially lots of causes. So there's injuries, trauma, post-surgical, cancer is a big cause of pain, nerve injury, and then the chronic headaches, migraines, chronic back pain, whether you get back pain from actual nerve compression, degeneration, so arthritis, osteoarthritis. And then there are conditions that where your body's pain circuitry is abnormal. So those are things like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. There's a vast number of causes of pain. Anxiety and depression can cause pain. So is associated with chronic pain. It's a chicken and egg thing. Does chronic pain cause anxiety and depression? Absolutely. But just those conditions on their own can cause chronic pain.
Yeah. And in terms of quality of life for patient, doc, what are the most effective treatment options?
So there isn't one treatment when it comes to chronic pain. It's a very complex disease, and so the solutions are complex. We use a team approach, ideally, and what we do is we use multiple interventions. The interventions are medical and non-medical interventions, and in the medical, there's drugs that we use. Starting with just simple analgesia, and we escalate depending on the patient's needs. There's non-drug options, which include interventions like nerve blocks, epidurals, various types of surgical options. And then there are the complementary things that we use, the allied health services, physio, occupational therapy, psychotherapy is crucial, and then other things, mind-body things like acupuncture, yoga, biofeedback, hypnotherapy, looking at diet. So it really is. There's no one treatment. What happens is you see a doctor and a plan unique to you, to your pain journey is formulated, because pain is unique. It's subjective. It's what you feel, not what I think you feel.
Yeah. Let's talk about medication, since you've highlighted that.
Absolutely.
In terms of chronic medication overusage, what is your opinion as a medical doctor on renal damage of overusage? And you hear patients saying, I need that pethidine, my pain is unbearable, and obviously the addiction with pethidine. What's your viewpoint?
Yeah, so in my pain clinic, I've seen a lot of patients coming through who feel that they need to suffer through pain, and they just haven't. They haven't had the opportunity to talk through what they are experiencing. That's the first thing. So their pain medication hasn't been optimized, or they haven't had a chance to go and get feedback. So you find a lot of times they aren't taking the optimum simple analgesics, which obviously is not working. So their medication gets escalated because the doctor doesn't have time to listen to them. In a lot of the patients, they haven't had to be on opiates, or they don't need to be on frequent opiates. But the opiate crisis has resulted in doctors being wary to prescribe opiates. And so I've had patients who can only get opiates because they've been through everything, and that's the only thing that works. The dependence issue is just through lack of education. A lot of it is lack of education, and then doctors feeling pressure to prescribe a solution for a patient. And it's always easier to give a drug rather than spend the hour or hour and a half that's needed to work through a very detailed plan for the patient and introduce other options. The other thing is also measurement. What a patient might describe as 10 out of 10 pain might be 5 out of 10 for somebody else with the same condition. And so I always encourage patients to measure their pain, to quantify it, and then we look at solutions for that. But yes, drug use can result in addiction, and certain medication like non-steroidals can cause renal failure. But conversely, patients with renal failure, their pain is very poorly managed.
And I tend to ask this question often when I have the medical doctors on my show.
Yeah.
Lifestyle, obviously, you have your mental health, and in terms of exercise and diet, how can that support managing chronic pain?
So it's a crucial part of the chronic pain package that we give. We always have to look at lifestyle. What is it that contributes and perpetuates pain? So exercise is also important. It contributes to generating endorphins that make you feel good. It's a form of distraction. Some people with arthritis, they need to engage in exercise. Some people need to lose weight as part of their pain management program. So lifestyle changes are crucial. Diets, there's something called an anti-inflammatory diet, or there's supplements that we use, things like alpha lipoic acid, omega-3, curcumin, or turmeric, ginger. Looking at all those things in your diet, adding them, supplementing them, those go a long way towards helping a patient and taking control over their pain condition and their pain journey. So all those things are very crucial. In looking at stress management, sleep hygiene is very crucial.
Yeah, I hope, listeners, you are taking notes with all the lovely information that Dr. Green is imparting this morning. Dr. Green, in terms of our patients that have migraines, what advice would you give to them?
So with migraine, I think, like with any condition, establish a good relationship with your healthcare provider. Keep a headache diary so that you gain some control in your life, and you are able to look back and see when do I get my attacks, how frequently, what might be triggering it, what helps, what doesn't help with my migraines. Important to take your medication at the first sign of it, and ask your healthcare provider questions. Are you on the right medication? Are you on the optimum medication? If your medication is not working, go back and have that conversation with the doctor and see what can help. Things like, once again, lifestyle changes, looking at your diet, getting enough rest, getting enough sleep, looking at stressors in your life that could be exacerbating it, trying things like heat therapy or cold, which help to distract. So there's a lot of things that I could go on and on and on about what can be done for migraine. And then there are some slightly advanced interventions which you can discuss with the neurologist for migraine that is intractable and impacting on your life. These include things like Botox, nerve blocks. They're even looking at things like vagus nerve implants. So there's a lot that can be done.
Yeah.
You just have
Talking about advancements, so has there been any advancements with chronic medicine?
There's a lot that has come about thanks to technology. So in terms of the non-drug developments, there's in August 2025, the FDA approved a vagus nerve implant that is used in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. And that is a non-drug thing. It helps to stimulate the vagus nerve, which then stimulates the anti-inflammatory pathway.
Yes.
And this is in patients who don't respond to the biological treatment. And the advantage of this nerve implant is that it's not a drug. So it has very few of the side effects. And they are looking at using this vagus nerve implant in people with other chronic pain conditions. And then along with the implants, there's spinal cord stimulation that also it affects the processing or the pain pathways. This is in patients with very severe pain that's not responding to other measures. In terms of technology, they use virtual reality, which works on the concepts of distraction. So if you have this virtual reality environment, it's helping to distract you from pain, and that's a non-drug method that is used. They combine that with artificial intelligence and wearable technology so that they're tracking various things like the person's vital signs and how they are responding to the virtual reality environment, and then using artificial intelligence and machine learning, the virtual reality environment can then be changed. And people who have used this report a significant improvement in their pain and reduction in opiate use. Virtual reality was initially used for acute pain, so post-surgical pain, but they're now using it for people with chronic pain in some areas, and finding that it helps to improve people's perception of chronic pain and their function. And then in terms of medication, there's new drugs like for fibromyalgia. The FDA recently approved a drug called Tonmyra for people with fibromyalgia, because that's not easy to treat. There are few drug options. There's new sodium channel blockers for acute pain. They're looking at psychedelics so psilocybin, LSD. There's a lot of development in the chronic pain arena.
We speak so much about medication, and patients need to be mindful that just don't take recommendations from family and friends.
Absolutely.
Seek help with your medical professional that obviously knows your body and knows what you can consume and that is safe for you.
Absolutely. It's so important to find a doctor that you can have a good rapport with, that allows you to have a discussion and empowers you to take control of your pain journey, and educates you, guides you in the right direction. But yes, please, it's important not to just take medication from people because you can cause serious damage to organs.
Yeah. And Doc, obviously you do see quite a few patients with spinal cord injury, and I'm assuming that you actually work with a multidisciplinary team and maybe refer to a physio before you actually refer for advancements in surgery.
Absolutely.
What's your opinion about obviously physical therapy or acupuncture, and how can it elevate chronic pain?
Okay, so in spinal cord injury, and I think in any of the chronic pain conditions, The allied health disciplines are crucial. Physiotherapy is vital in any of these conditions. Occupational therapy as well plays a big role in helping patients with chronic pain. So, just before we go to spinal cord injury, for example, in patients with complex regional pain syndrome, mirror therapy done with the occupational therapist actually helps some patients with complex regional pain. Coming back to spinal cord injury, these patients they have different causes of their pain, and yes, physiotherapy is important. Basically using things that work for the patient, acupuncture, something called TENS, and medication as well. Also lifestyle changes and addressing the underlying cause for the pain, whether it is overuse of various muscle groups, muscle spasm, the actual nerve injury that is caused, and then basic things like constipation and urine infections can actually cause pain in patients with spinal cord injury.
The topic is so broad, Doc,
It's
that we have
huge.
to unpack different
It's
categories of pain
huge.
management.
It's huge.
So, listeners, we're going to take a quick ad break, and when we return, let's dive into discussion on palliative care. Our guest, Dr. Samantha Green, is sharing insights on this crucial topic. Stay tuned, and we will reconnect in a short while.
Radio Al-Ansar.
Time for a kitchen update? Head down to Simplex Radio's Black Nova sale. Get grilling with the Philips 6.2-liter air fryer at just $7.59. Save with the Media 20-liter microwave oven at only $6.99.
Bake up a treat with the Kenwood Home Bake Stand Mixer at just $17.99.
And have breakfast in style with the Smeg kettle or toaster now at the low price of just $25.99 each.
Simplex Radio, the name you can trust.
The Debonair's Pizza Real Deal is bringing to you 6 amazing flavors from just £31.90. Perfect for a lunch fix between errands or a cozy moment with the family. Join me, Phoebe Aminafili, on Saturday, the 6th of December from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our live broadcast at Debonair's Pizza North Beach, 139 Lower Marine Parade Street, where all the flavors and prices are waiting for you. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing.
Maximizing Your Inner Self, a program focusing on emotional intelligence and personal development. Are you in control of your emotions, or are your emotions in control of you? Let's explore with Max Khan on Sundays at 12 p.m. to 12:45 p.m.
This and only this is Nightline. Nightline is the only program that allows you to listen to the opportunity to voice your opinion on any matter or any topic that concerns you. Also on Nightline, we interview the famous, the not so famous, and infamous. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Brother Muhammad Variawa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Anwar Jiwa. Join us every Saturday night from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. on Nightline, the program designed especially for you, the listener.
Radio Al-Ansar welcomes your feedback. If you have a broadcasting-related complaint, please put it in writing and address it to the head of the complaints committee. Include your full name, contact details, a clear description of your complaint, and any supporting documents. You can email your complaint to feedback@alansar.org.za. That's feedback@alansar.org.za. Or bring it in person to our Pietermaritzburg office at 240 Ortman Road, Willowton. Your input helps us serve you better.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Doctors and guests on a medical files program will help you with any medical problems you have by giving you advice on air. However, they do not have your full medical history and they have not seen you. Please verify the advice given to you on air with your doctor who knows you better. Neither the doctors nor Radio Al-Ansar will be held responsible for any ill health caused by the advice given on Radio Al-Ansar.
गरम होता है हालात बदल जाते हैं आका इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज लाख खतरे हो इसी नाम से डर जाते हैं जब लिया नाम नबी मैंने दुआ से पहले हो गई मुझ पे अता मेरी खता से पहले लाख खतरे हो इसी नाम से डर जाते हैं ये नाम कोई काम बिगड़ने नहीं देता ये नाम कोई काम बिगड़ने नहीं देता ये नाम कोई काम बिगड़ने नहीं देता बिगड़े भी बना देता है बस नाम मोहम्मद लाख खतरे हो
Listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you've just tuned in, welcome to the Pietermaritzburg Pulse Show. We are on Durban 90.4 and Pietermaritzburg 105.6 FM. You are with myself, Shubnum, Ismail, and today we're exploring the world of palliative care with incredible Dr. Samantha Green, who's shedding light on this vital topic. Dr. Green, thank you for joining us. And
Thanks, Shubnum.
Being part of the Pulse Show. So let's dive straight in. Can you tell us what is palliative care?
So, palliative care is the discipline that helps patients with life-threatening or life-limiting illnesses. It focuses on improving the quality of life, reducing pain and suffering in patients and families who are affected with life-limiting or life-threatening illnesses. It's not only end-of-life care.
Okay.
It's not just about dying. It's about affirming life. That's primarily what palliative care is about.
Yeah. And do you work with organizations like hospice?
So yes, hospice is a crucial part of it. Unfortunately, the perception that palliative care is death leads to late referrals. That is the problem that we have. As palliative care should actually at the reception of the diagnosis. When you're given this diagnosis of a life-threatening or life-limiting illness, you should be on that journey of palliative care and disease-specific treatment. And hospice shouldn't be just a few days before you die.
Yeah.
It should be a journey, an early engagement, because they do so much. There is so much that hospice does that can actually contribute positively to the life of a person with a disease that is life-limiting or life-threatening. So yes, I do work with hospice. I've gone to hospice. I've gone to meet the staff at hospice. I'm trying to forge relationships with hospice nurses. I worked with one of the hospice nurses recently, and another one sends me information and courses that. So yeah, it's crucial to get involved.
And thank you to all the wonderful caregivers, nurses, and doctors like
Absolutely.
yourself that put your heart into what you do
Thank
and
you.
helping our palliative patients, and not only them, but also the families that go through this trauma of knowing that they might lose their family member. In terms of palliative, who is eligible for palliative care, and how can it be assessed?
So any patient who has a life-limiting or life-threatening condition. So what is life-limiting or life-threatening? Everybody thinks palliative care is cancer. But it's not only cancer patients that need palliative care. There's non-cancer conditions. There's neurological diseases, advanced neurological diseases that need palliation. Patients with end-stage cardiac failure that they are on best treatments and remain symptomatic. Patients with advanced lung disease that are on home oxygen. Patients who have decided to stop dialysis or dialysis is not starting, patients with HIV patients that have what we call AIDS defining conditions, dementia, of a huge unmet need for dementia treatment and care in Pietermaritzburg. What we usually use is there's a specific tool that we use adjusted for South Africa, but patients who have these diagnoses, who have had 2 unscheduled visits to ICU, who have lost about 10% of their body weight, who spend most of their time in bed, who are unable to care for themselves, all these patients meet criteria for palliative care.
And what are the benefits of early palliative care intervention?
Oh, innumerable. There's a lot of pain that goes into palliative care, not just physical. Let me rephrase that. Patients who have palliative care needs have a huge unmet need for symptom management. Not only pain, which is physical pain, but there's emotional pain as well, not just for patients, but for their families. There's planning that needs to go into not only how they're going to live with this illness, but when the time comes, how do they want to die? It's about dying with dignity. In palliative care, we affirm life, but we accept death as a natural process. And not everybody is ready to talk about death. But you need to establish that rapport with the patient and get them comfortable with the concept of dying and get their family comfortable with the concept of dying. And the earlier you start that, the better. We work as a team. It's usually a nurse, a social worker. We place emphasis on spirituality. So the patient's and the family's spirituality, because that is crucial in patients who are dealing with such a huge issue. And all this infrastructure takes time to implement. I had a patient recently who had a terminal diagnosis, who had no family here in South Africa. Her colleagues were helping her, but she had to plan her own funeral, and I had to assist with that. So palliative, palliative care is not just the last 2 or 3 days when nothing can be done. The earlier it started, the less patients feel that they are abandoned by the health professionals. And that's often something that comes through, is that when they're told nothing can be done and they are left to sort it out for themselves.
Do you think there's enough resources in KZN or Pietermaritzburg for palliative support and care?
There aren't enough resources, I think, but and when we talk about resources, we talk about education. There isn't enough education about what palliative care involves. In our training, there isn't enough. But no, I don't think that there are enough resources in Pietermaritzburg. One of them being education and engagement. People tend to work in isolation, and I think doctors need to improve their education on what palliative care entails and what tools there are available to them. But overall, no, I don't think that there are enough resources for palliative care in Pietermaritzburg.
Yeah. Listeners, let's take a moment to pause and reflect. As Almighty Allah reminds us in the Quran, and indeed, we have made the Quran easy to remember. So is there any who will remember? 54.17. Let's take a deep breath and let's reflect on our health and well being and how we can make wiser choices, seeking blessings and guidance from the Almighty. When we return, we'll be back with Dr. Samantha Green to wrap up our conversation on palliative care, exploring how it can bring comfort, peace, and mercy to those in need. It's the most that we can do, inshallah. Stay with us and may Almighty Allah guide us on the path to wellness.
24/7, 365.
This Black November, Bowers Furnishes is turning up the heat. Get the JVC 32-inch Android Smart TV for just $1,899. Perfect for streaming, gaming, and upgrading your home entertainment. If you're ready to take your kitchen to the next level, don't miss the LG Knock Knock 611-liter fridge for only $37,999. Style, space, and smart technology all in one. Hurry, deals this good won't last. Visit Bowers Furnishes in store or online today because Black November waits for no one.
Every day, thousands go to bed hungry, but you can change that. With just 10 Rand, you can provide a loaf of bread. This bread is more than just a donation, it is a lifeline for so many families in need. Be part of the Al Ansar Outreach Slice of Life drive today. Call Outreach on 031 208 1601 and make a difference one loaf at a time.
6 meaty flavors. Beat the hunger with real value. Grab the Debonair's Pizza Real Deal range. Great for sharing with family or not. From just 31.90. Choose your flavor from the chicken and spicy pine, barbecue chicken, and more. Real flavor that hits the spot. Visit Debonair's Pizza Halal branches on North Beach, 139 Lower Marine Parade Street, Citygate Center at Joe Slover Street, or Grey on 192 Dr. Yusuf Dadu Street. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing. The Debonair's Pizza Real Deal is bringing to you 6 amazing flavors from just 31.90 Rand. Perfect for a lunch fix between errands or a cozy moment with the family. Join me, Phoebe Amina Fili, on Saturday, the 6th of December from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our live broadcast at Debonair's Pizza North Beach, 139 Lower Marine Parade Street, where all the flavors and prices are waiting for you. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing.
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Doctors and guests on a medical files program will help you with any medical problems you have by giving you advice on air. However, they do not have your full medical history and they have not seen you. Please verify the advice given to you on air with your doctor who knows you better. Neither the doctors nor Radio Al Ansar will be held responsible for any ill health caused by the advice given on Radio Al Ansar.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
زينت السماء وضعت الجبال أمرت البحار وخلقت الجنان سيرت الكواكب أضأت النجوم فجرت الأنهار فأرحت القلوب وللعباد أنزلت الإسلام وللهداية أنزلت القرآن وبالسلام أرسلت الأنبياء وسعت كل شيء في الأرض تشكو إليه لكنني Just the Almighty, the King of the worlds, the Lord of creations and the heavens above. You're closer to me than my jugular vein. You answer my prayers when I'm hurting in pain. And in return for worship and love, you give eternal peace beyond earth. And all around, I see all your signs. Hear every prayer, so here's mine.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back, listeners. You are connected onto the Peter Marisburg Pulse Show here at Radio Al Ansar, 240 Otman Road in Peter Marisburg. We have been reflecting on your health and well-being, and now it's time to get back to our conversation with Dr. Samantha Green, where we're discussing palliative care and its benefits. So let's dive straight back in. So, doctor, what is the difference between palliative care in hospitals versus a home setting?
I think that from what I've observed, hospitals are anxiety generators. It's almost inevitable that somebody will decide they need blood tests or some intervention. It's quite difficult to just let the patient be in a hospital and step back. There's always this need to do and to monitor, which generates a lot of anxiety. But having said that, some patients need to be in hospital for various things. It's just having that discussion, what is in the patient's best interests for the patient and for the people who are helping to look after the patient. So sometimes it comes down to infrastructure and caring that is not possible at home. Just from what I've observed, a lot of patients prefer to be palliated at home. It's a comfortable environment. It's a familiar environment. And those two go a long way to just improving the patient and the family sense of well-being. Mostly about the patient. Sometimes the family need help, which can actually be sourced, provided palliative care team are given sufficient notice and are involved early. But all the help that is that a patient can get in hospital in terms of carers, beds, all those facilities can be provided at home as well. Medication, all of that can be provided at home. Just from a personal perspective, I think the more that is done out of the hospital environment, the better it is for the patient.
It's a humane way of actually assisting one in need during that time.
Exactly.
And, bereavement is reality.
It is.
At some point, it's about acceptance. And Doc, with your experience, how can we promote palliative care management in the communities?
I think it's important to educate oneself about what palliative care is. Reach out to hospice. Hospice doesn't only deal with the patient. They offer, for example, they offer bereavement counseling to family members of a patient who's passed, and they offer that bereavement counseling for up to 3 months after the passing of a loved one. So just reaching out to your local hospice, finding out what palliative care is all about. Palliative care is supposed to be included there's a national framework where there's supposed to be arrangements made for palliative care. So speak to your medical aides, because increasingly medical aides are starting to realize the importance of palliative care, and they have things in place. I've been contacted by medical aides to assist with the palliation of patients here in Pietermaritzburg. So, and when I spoke to one of the medical aides, they said the request was coming from their patients, and so patients have been putting pressure on them to have something in place for palliative care.
And for our listeners, what is the most important factors to consider when making end of life decisions?
You know, I have a death box at home, but that's because you know, I don't have hang-ups about death, because death is very much a part of life.
Yes.
And we should always be prepared for it. One of the things that we saw that I used to see a lot in ICU was that people used to be shocked that somebody is dying, and I always used to say it's in the contract. So, but it is a privilege to be able to die in a non-traumatic way, that's not sudden. And it's important to have things like a living will, especially if you, God forbid, end up in ICU, and it's evident that none of the interventions are life-saving, that they are potentially prolonging your suffering. You need to put in place, what is it that you would like to die with dignity? What interventions do you want? Do you want ventilation? Do you want renal replacement therapy? Do you want antibiotics? Do you want to be fed, through a nasogastric tube? All those are important, as well as, who you want present when you are dying. What is important for you in terms of spirituality, having your finances in order, all that, and hospice can help with all of that.
Yeah.
There is a specific tool that is used to assess those needs and to help you. They work, part of the hospice team is a social worker, and as I said, the hospice nurse, as well as getting your spiritual advisor involved, and getting the family. All these things are important.
Yes.
Basically, what do you want? What do you consider to be an ideal way of passing away, and trying to implement that?
Absolutely. Doc, thank you so much for all the lives that you've saved. I used to see you running around in the ICUs and the high cares during the peak time of COVID, and for all the lives that you have saved and the knowledge that you are imparting to our younger medical professionals is really amazing. So I thank you
Shubnum.
for that. Are there any final words for the listeners, and how can they get in touch with you? And in your opinion, what are the future directions for medicine or palliative care in South Africa?
I think, I used to hear about palliative care, and I started thinking a lot about it when I was working in ICU. COVID really changed a lot of doctors, and it really made me reevaluate what we do in ICU. And that started my palliative care journey. And I wish that I had started it earlier. And when I say earlier, I think that medical school doesn't place enough emphasis on teaching doctors about palliative care. It's a small little time that we do. So there needs to be a lot of education in the medical field, and then rolling that information out to communities and making them aware what are their rights. Everybody has a right to dignity.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's devastating to see patients dying in ICU, ventilate with with futile treatment,
Absolutely.
because the information has not been provided that some of these interventions are futile and stripping
Yes.
away dignity. That should not be what it's all about. So education is crucial.
And where are your offices based in Pietermaritzburg?
So I'm
us, and may Almighty Allah guide us all towards wellness, compassion, and understanding. And to our technicians, both Durban and Pietermaritzburg, Jazakallah for plugging us with the listeners. Don't forget to listen into our next show on family and marriage counseling, Til Badele, that's going to be coming up. And we'd like you, our listeners, to stay safe, take care of your body and soul. Until next Saturday, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Will help you with any medical problems you have by giving you advice on air. However, they do not have your full medical history and they have not seen you. Please verify the advice given to you on air with your doctor who knows you better. Neither the doctors nor Radio Al Ansar will be held responsible for any ill health caused by the advice given on Radio Al Ansar.
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al Ansar News.
Making news at 10 at the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal says the reinstatement of Nkosing Mdaga as Umkhanyakude mayor is a step towards stabilizing the district. Good morning, I'm Tabila Duma. The African National Congress in KZN says the reinstatement of Nkosing Mdaga as Umkhanyakude mayor is a major step towards stabilizing the district. Mdaga was re-elected during a special council meeting in Hluhluwe on Thursday. He was removed in a vote of no confidence by the AFP-led coalition last month, a move that threatened the government of provincial unity. His return follows negotiations between the ANC and the AFP. AFF councillor Simon Tembu was elected deputy mayor and the AFP retained the speaker position. An NFP councillor was appointed as a chief whip. The ANC says the new political arrangement is intended to secure consistent leadership and prevent further disruptions in the municipality. The party's provincial coordinator, Mark Mabuyakulu, says the parties have agreed to rebuild their trust and address issues affecting their cooperation. He says that the district now needs a stable governance to tackle pressing challenges, including long-standing water shortages and a poor service delivery. Staying with local news, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, KwaZulu-Natal's Legislature Watchdog Committee, has identified the failure to fill critical posts as a major reason why most provincial departments and entities are failing to achieve clean audit outcomes. According to the Auditor General's 2024 and 2025 audit report, only 6 provincial departments received clean audits. The report also highlights widespread irregular and wasteful expenditure, along with serious governance failures in several key departments. Though many departments have managed to fill some crucial posts, there is still an unacceptably high number of vacancies in key management positions, and this has contributed significantly to negative audit findings, particularly in relation to non-adherence to supply chain management prescripts. Vacancies include department heads, CFOs, and CEOs of provincial entities. Scopa added that these gaps in senior management have had a direct impact on compliance with legislation, internal controls, and financial and performance management. In more news, the Madlanga Commission has heard of factional disputes over the disbandment of the political killings at Tasker team, stalled investigations into 121 politically related cases. Testifying before the Commission, Acting Deputy National Police Commissioner for Crime Detection, Hilda Sentumule, outlined a clear factional divides within the police top brass. The commissioners viewed the situation as a blatant disregard for the law as police management on multiple occasions have failed to adequately address the disbandment of the PKTT. In May, Hilda Sentumula was tasked with carrying out a detailed plan to audit the 121 dockets taken away from the PKTT and facilitate their handover to the stations of origin. She recounted her difficulty when engaging with KwaZulu-Natal Police Boss Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi about returning the dockets to the province. He reportedly wanted nothing to do with it. Madlanga Co-Commissioner Advocate Sandile Khumalo accused the police top brass of prioritizing their own agendas over the victims of crimes. The dockets were eventually returned to the PKTT in August, 4 months after being transferred to Pretoria. City of Cape Town Mako member for Safety and Security JP Smith has said that the crime statistics released yesterday were too little too late. Smith welcomed the South African Police Service's transparency, but slammed the statistics for being outdated and lacking meaningful context. He said the SAPS continues to gatekeep data that could help other spheres of government, civil society, and volunteer organizations make a real impact in the fight against crime. And finally, entire Palestinian communities have been forced into lockdown in parts of the occupied West Bank, a human rights group warned, as the Israeli military continues to carry out wide-scale deadly raids in the territory. Save the Children said yesterday that families in the northern West Bank have been forced to shelter inside their homes due to the fear of violence from the Israeli military, which launched an intensified operation earlier this week. The child rights group said that the lockdowns are keeping children out of school, jeopardizing family incomes and increasing risk of physical violence and child detention from the Israeli military. The Israeli troops laid siege to larger swathes of the northeastern Tubas governorate starting on Wednesday and carried out a series of major raids in other cities and towns across the occupied West Bank, including Jenin. Israeli forces have injured dozens of people in Tubas area since the raids began, the Palestinian news agency Wafa reported yesterday, while more than 160 have been detained. Israel has said that the operation aims to root out Palestinian armed groups, but residents say that the military has carried out indiscriminate attacks against the civilians, blocked journalists and ambulances, and damaged infrastructure. Taking a look at temperatures, Durban is at 21 to 28, Richards Bay 21 to 31, Ulundi 16 to 30, Ladysmith 16 to 28, and Margate is at 20 to 26. For Radio Al-Ansar News, I'm Tabila Duma.
Radio Al-Ansar, keeping you in the loop.
Dil Badalde is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination. Tired of the same old routine? Try something new. Introducing Lifestyle Food and Home, your new favorite convenience store offering everything you need. From our luxury range of biscuits, ready-to-eat meals, imported sweets, spices and homeware. And our Ratio Cafe has something for every taste and craving. From our freshly baked croissants and gourmet wraps, lattes and smoothies made to order just for you. So why wait? Pop by with a friend, sip on a coffee, taste the ice cream, browse through our store and experience the difference for yourself. Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination. Level 1, 311 Vos Road, Musgrave.
At this time of trial and worry, the blessings of charity are the ideal means to avoid calamity and despair. The Al-Imdad Foundation gives you the opportunity to sponsor a share in a borehole in South Africa for just 1,000 Rand and provide what the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, called the best form of charity. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
The Devin's Pizza Real Deal is bringing to you 6 amazing flavors from just 31.90 Rand. Perfect for a lunch fix between errands or a cozy moment with the family. Join me, Phoebe Aminafili, on Saturday, the 6th of December from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our live broadcast at Devin's Pizza North Beach, 139 Lower Marine Parade Street, where all the flavors and prices are waiting for you. Devin's Pizza. Try something amazing.
Get ready for Green Thumbs Up, the gardening and natural living show you didn't know you needed. I'm your host and life coach, Rabia Carvalho, and we're talking birds, bees, butterflies, and blooms, growing food in garden rooms, home-based holistic healing, and much more. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or nature lover, plant assassin, or permaculture professional, we got you. We got you. Let us bring you the ideas, the facts, support, and inspiration to go green wherever you are. Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. only on Radio Al Ansar.
Dil Badal De is proudly brought to you by Lifestyle Food and Home, your elite culinary destination.
Radio Al Ansar, 24/7, 365.
मिलकर खुदा की जात से आना रसूल का मिलकर खुदा की जात से आना रसूल का क्या मोजिज़ा है इश्क़ पर